So my name is Chris Bromby, and I'm the Director of Immersive Experiences here at Universal Creative.
Let's first talk about that title. Like, explain it to your job like I'm 5 years old.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. I lead a team of designers who help make all of these interactive experiences that you have in the parks. Like in Super Nintendo World, you have punch blocks, you have game experiences where you can live out what you played in the Mario Brothers games at home, and we adapt that to the physical world and allow you just to play. We do things across the whole Universal portfolio, like interactive Wands version 2 and Harry Potter area. That's what my team is delivering for Universal.
I've been a lifelong Disney kid my entire life. I've been going to Anaheim since I was 5, but when I noticed I started at the Harry Potter world at Hollywood and in Orlando, that you've been kind of pivoting. You're like, what can we do besides just waiting in lines? Because that's what kind of Disneyland was for decades. You're just going to an experience, waiting in a line, sometimes nothing to look at, then you go to the next line. This is the only park in Hollywood that I've been to that you can walk around with a drink and just kind of take an atmosphere and watch things and listen to music, hear sound effects, watch characters moving around. And it does create that sense of immersion. So what's that most difficult part of your job? Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that are quantifiable, including like, is this too crowded? Will this cause a traffic jam? Is this too much or not enough?
Of course, yeah, we think about all those things. I think our goal is always to deliver something that allows intuitive guest interaction, just to naturally walk around those lands like you were just describing and interact with the world as they expect to, really. And with something like Super Nintendo World, there's an expectation that it's a game franchise. Like, people grew up with Nintendo as a game, and you want to come in here and you want to be playing in that game. So that's what we're delivering. We have these experiences all over, like the slot machine barrel that we have, or slot machine that we have behind us. Slot machine barrel is something in Donkey Kong Country. You can go find that later.
We played it.
So we have those things all over, and those just build to the immersion and like the sense that you actually are in a physical version of those games.
What I want to ask about is, what did you learn from Japan Universal Studios? Opened first there, and then you did Hollywood. What did your team learn from those experiences when you were developing this park? Because those parks were out for a little bit. This was already being built, but you guys got some data there, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. It's Osaka is where USJ is. I think the thing that we're really proud of here is that we were able to bring Donkey Kong Country here, opening with the whole Super Nintendo World from the start. And it really allowed us to learn what was done in those other parks and do it all at once and make sure that guest experience and the way people move around the land is just the best it could actually be. Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the challenges, because you want to guide a customer at an event park goer to certain places naturally, right? So they are drawn to certain places, so they're not just going from line to line to line. What are some of the challenges in giving them some type of a direction?
Yeah, so the great thing about Super Mario Land that we're standing in is that we have all these interactive blocks. And one of the things that we worked really closely with Nintendo on, they've been an awesome partner, but we have these blocks that when you first enter the land, they kind of draw your attention. And most people, whether you have a power-up band or not, will want to run up and punch one of those. And if you notice, they're around the lands in strategic areas that allow for guest flow to move from block to block. And that takes you from game to game. So I think we really think about kind of what draws people's attention and just lay out the lands based on that.
Now, you work very closely with Nintendo, obviously, in all these things, but they're more of a game company. You guys are more a theme park entertainment company. What was that relationship like? Did they have to kind of put their trust in you, be like, when they give you feedback, this is how rides work? Because they're video game company through and through, foremost.
Yeah, they are, but they also deliver a guest experience in the home. So we learned a ton from working with Miyamoto-san and all of the amazing designers at Nintendo. They really do think about their product and the guests the same way we at Universal do. So I think it was an amazing partnership, and we learned a lot from each other, actually. And we learned what's important to them about making a fun experience, and we've really taken that into everything that we've done within Super Nintendo World and beyond.
Now, if you can say, because I don't want to get you in trouble, can you give me an example of some constructive feedback maybe Nintendo gave you on something in the park that you were in charge of?
I think the main takeaway is everything's important. When it comes from the visual, just the raw experience, and the audio that comes from that, really all the senses need to be in tuned for the real joy to come out and the way people play. So I think we think about that often, and everything that we design is like, it's not just one thing, it's all the things.
How does somebody go about your career path? How do you become a manager of immersive experiences? Are you engineer? Are you technical director? Like, how does that?
So I have been a technical director, but I actually started out as an artist. I was an animator when I went into school and came out of school, and then I got into video games. I kind of grew up with video games, so it kind of naturally went into becoming a game developer. I was a technical lead in games for a very long time, and then taking that knowledge into the real world is kind of what we're standing in right now. Is like we're almost in a video game, but it's an experience in itself, the physical form. So everything that I learned from making media content and animation to technology is kind of wrapped up in this big physical world that we're standing in.
Now I have to ask, because we're going to talk about you for a little bit now. Like, what projects did you work on in animation and in gaming? Can you say? Are you allowed to say? Are you allowed to say? No.
So I worked on a number of animated films.
Past
animated films that I'm sure everyone has seen growing up. But I've also worked on a number of games that I'm sure everyone's played.
It's such an interesting resume. That's such an interesting career path. I think you got to evolve and grow from different technical aspects of everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it really is fun to take all of the knowledge from the past things I've done. Working with an amazing partner like Nintendo, I mean, that's a dream in itself for a lot of people, and then using all that experience to deliver something like what we've done here with Super Nintendo World.
What advice would you give to kids out there if they want to be involved in like ride design or engineering or like immersion experiences or art? Like, what advice would you give to them? Where could they start to end up where you are today?
Get out there and experiment with things. Like go to the parks and just sit on a bench and watch. I mean, honestly, like I do a lot of observation, because you learn a lot when you just take a moment to rest and see how people operate. So I think if you really pay attention to the world around you, then you can start figuring out how to add to that world.